I'm happy with them. This one was Grenadier 89, so there's the, or was that? Can't tell if that's a 4 or a 9, but probably a 9. I don't know. Just a bear, and he's had a little bit of wear because I painted him several years ago, and we were using him in our campaign because somebody was a bear. Again, put a little blood on his face. So we were using that one for years, and so some of the paint's coming off, but I usually try to put on a lot of top coat just to protect it for actual use. And then this one I liked a lot to paint. Oh, I already lost some paint on him. His feather's coming off. I don't know if I'll touch him up. Maybe I will. Could touch him up right now. But yeah. All right, give me just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and paint him right now. Touch him up. Do it live on the air. If it's shaking, I got a little paint shaker because I'm lazy, and my son got me that, and I love it. Paint shaker, if you can get them cheap, which I recommend because they're cheap. My wife was saying I should paint on record painting, and I don't. I would do like time lapses or something, but painting on that's the color that I'm using today. Vallejo Rot Red. Red Rot, sorry. Red Rot. And people have seen my painting. Wow, the detail and your hands are steady. No, they're not. They shake. You just got to get over that. But I'll just touch that one up. I don't know where that splotchy poo came from. Problem is, this was several layers, and that looked like it went. That nick went right down to the metal. My wife always says I have to say metal, like heavy metal. I always try to sneak in Swedish flags. My brother and I are 25% Swedish. Actually, no, higher than that, 29, I think. I'd have to look up the numbers, but we did our DNA. Super white, but 29% Swedish. Third generation American on my mom's side. We have the papers to prove it. So I always try to sneak in a Swedish flag. And also the copper, silver and black are a subtle homage to my dad, who taught at Purdue. So it's kind of a nod to Purdue. Hidden in there, I like to hide little stuff wherever I can in these things. And then this was the first one I painted in this series, and probably my least favorite paint job that I did. But they call it a swamp rat. This is from '83. At least when I looked it up, it said swamp rat. I like the figure. I'm just not too jazzed with my paint job. But he's got a bunch of toadstooly kind of pox on his back, and the colors that were online that a lot of people did were a lot more cartoony, and I tried to make them a little more earthy and subtle, and just kind of coated him with a disgusting blood overtone, like he'd been rooting around, kind of like a in my head like a buzzard, but like a big giant rats of unusual size Princess Bride thing. But yeah, that was the first one I did in the series, and I decided to go ahead and do a semi-gloss coat on him to make him look kind of wet and gross. This is the partner to this guy. They call him Halfling with Knife, I think. It didn't have its identifiers, but I have seen it in plenty of the sets online. But had fun doing little toadstools putting little dots on the toadstools. I think my favorite paint job in the set for me was this wizard. I made him a red wizard, but I just had a lot of fun painting him, and it came out just the way I envisioned in my head. I wasn't sure how the smoke was going to turn out. I hadn't done smoke before, but it turned out exactly like I saw it in my head. But he's out of the Wizard collection of Grenadier. He didn't have any markings on his base, but I've certainly seen him in the other sets. Then I had to put this guy in a little case because his nunchuck kept breaking off even after I reattached and worked on it. But yeah, I can't read the bottom, but he kind of reminded me of oh, he's got some stuff wearing off of him too. Come on now. Can't. I put so much overcoat. That's surprising to me. I guess the pressure in the storage thing. So I'll have to touch that up right now. His nunchuck kept breaking off, and it was broken when I got it. I mean, when in the box, it wasn't. He didn't have it, so I like doing models too, and I usually keep about 2 or 3 projects running at a time. Sorry for the pause, but I'm mixing paint. 2 or 3 projects going at a time. So while I'm waiting on something to dry, I can keep working on the other, and working on a I don't think I have it right here. Oh, I got some pictures though. One of my sons gave me the Marauder from Bad Batch, and working on that. One of the laser cannons on that broke off, and I go, huh, that's almost a perfect match for the nunchuck that's missing. So instead of gluing it back on that model, I went ahead and just added it to ta-da, finished, to this. So that nunchuck sitting out there is the laser cannon off of the Marauder, Havoc Marauder from Bad Batch, the AMT new model. So that'll be our little secret. So yeah, so I took this painted set over to Steve, and was like, do you think they'd like them, and would you like some? And he goes, yeah. And I go, did you guys buy a set and then split them up, or it's a real mixed bag of different sets? So I was really, and he goes, do you want to know where they came from then? I go, yeah, absolutely I do. And he said, well, they were all given to me. They were all Steve's. All my life I thought they were Eric's because they were always at his house. And turns out, oops, I'm shaking the camera real bad. I bet I did that through the whole video, sorry. Yeah, so they'd always been at Eric's, and I just thought they were his, but they were all Steve's. And he told me another cool story. He said his grandfather had a hobby shop in Ohio, and it either closed down or I don't know, but I think it closed down. But he gave Steve all the minis. And they just ended up at Eric's because that's where they played most of the time, was at Eric's or our house, etc. So I had even ordered off of Etsy a little stamp that said EDW collection. I was going to put that on the base, a little tiny one, because I ordered it so I could put it on this tiny 7mm base. But I didn't. I'm not going to, because they're this. And he said, and I said, I didn't know why this one wasn't painted. And he goes, well, that's because my mother painted them. She painted a lot of them. He said, there's dozens more, including several painted by my mother. And I thought, man, that's weird. I don't know where they are. Like, I didn't know where they were. And in talking to my other brother, he's like, well, I have them. And he just assumed I remembered that he had them. And I'm sure we talked about it, but it's been almost 20 years. And I've had a lot of head trauma, so I don't remember stuff that well.